You open your eyes, but there's a problem. You're an astronaut on the International Space Station. Congratulations, you achieved your childhood dream of floating in space. Too bad the reality is basically living trapped in a sardine can 250 miles above Earth, where everything you do requires following a procedures manual, and your only company is 4 people you've been hating for the past 3 months. You wake up floating inside a sleeping bag strapped to the wall. Oh, there's no up or down here, just arbitrary directions that make your head hurt. Your first thought of the day is always the same. At least today, something interesting will happen. Spoiler that I, as an omniscient narrator, can give you, it won't. You drag yourself out of the sleeping bag, literally drag, because without gravity, your muscles are atrophying and you move like a space slug. The first mission of the day, going to the bathroom. Ah, the space toilet. That engineering marvel that transforms a basic biological need into a complex 3-page procedure. You need to strap yourself down so you don't float away mid-process, aim at a hole the size of a coin, and pray the suction system works. NASA spent billions developing this, billions. While you're fighting against your own bodily functions, an alarm sounds. Your heart races. Finally, an emergency. A meteor? System failure? You float quickly to the control panel, and it's the alarm for time to water the botany experiment plants. Great. Thrilling. You're 250 miles from Earth, risking your life to water lettuce. Breakfast is served. And when I say served, I mean you squeeze paste from a tube into your mouth while pretending it tastes like scrambled eggs. It tastes like wet cardboard mixed with dead hope, but the label says scrambled eggs, so you swallow and smile for the camera that transmits to mission control. Smiling is part of the protocol. Everything here is protocol. You drink coffee from a pouch with a straw. The coffee floats in bubbles if you're not careful, and you've already learned the hard way that floating liquid and electronic equipment don't mix, so you suck down the lukewarm liquid that technically is coffee, but last tasted anything like coffee about 6 months ago when it was sealed in this cursed pouch. 9 a.m., mandatory exercise time. You need to strap yourself to a treadmill and run for 2 hours to prevent your bones from turning to dust. It's exactly as fun as it sounds. You run tied up like a ham, sweating in zero gravity, which means the sweat doesn't drip. It just sticks to your skin, forming a sticky, disgusting layer. Glamorous. In the middle of your run, another alarm. You stop immediately, heart pounding. This time it's serious. You feel it. You float to the panel and reminder, check CO2 meter in module 3. You check it. It's normal. Obviously, it's normal. Everything is always normal. If I were you, I'd have thrown that panel out the window by now. If windows could be opened here, which they can't, because you'd die instantly in the vacuum of space. 11 a.m. Scientific experiments. Today, you're going to observe how proteins crystallize in microgravity. You put liquids in containers, write down numbers, take photos, and pretend this is fascinating. In your head, you're imagining a meteor hitting the station. Nothing fatal, just enough to create a little drama, you know? Something to break the monotony of watching proteins do absolutely nothing visible. Noon, lunch. More tube paste. Today it's teriyaki chicken, which tastes the same as all the other flavors, nothing with a slight note of despair. You eat while floating upside down, relative to your Russian colleague who's eating sideways. Directions mean nothing here. Just like this chicken doesn't mean real food. You try to make conversation, but you've exhausted all possible topics weeks ago. You've already discussed politics, philosophy, favorite movies, foods you miss, and now all that's left is awkward silence while you suck tube paste together. Romance. At 1:30 p.m., a different alarm goes off. This one sounds more serious. You feel the adrenaline. Finally, you float at record speed to the command center, almost hitting your head on 3 different modules. The other astronauts are arriving too, all with the same expression of, please let it be something interesting. You check the systems and, alert, urine recycling system software update scheduled for tomorrow. The disappointment is physical. You want to cry, but tears in zero gravity just accumulate in your eyes in irritating bubbles, so you can't even do that properly. The afternoon is dedicated to maintenance. You spend 3 hours changing air filters, tightening screws, and checking valves. It's like being a janitor, but in space, and with the constant possibility of sudden death if you mess up. No pressure. At 4 p.m., you have your leisure hour. You could read, look at Earth through the window, or call your family. You choose to float to the observation cupola and look at the blue planet below. It's objectively beautiful. It's also objectively the same view you have every day. You try to feel inspired, but honestly, you can only think about pizza. Pizza with functioning gravity that you can eat sitting in a chair like a normal human being. You see Brazil pass below, then Africa, then the Indian Ocean. The station orbits Earth every 90 minutes, so you've seen this movie about 1,300 times. But hey, at least it's not the urine recycling alarm. At 6 p.m. dinner. Today there's steak with mashed potatoes, which is your favorite form of tube paste. Because you can close your eyes and use your imagination. The texture doesn't help at all, but you try. You really try. After dinner, mandatory video conference with Mission Control. They ask how you're doing. You say great, because saying, "I'd pay half my salary for a crispy apple in gravity," isn't in the script. You smile, they smile, everyone lies politely. 8 p.m. More experiments. This time you're testing how plants grow without gravity, which you already know the answer to because you've been doing this for 3 months. But science demands repetition. The plants look as bored as you are. At 9:15 p.m., the loudest alarm you've ever heard explodes through the speakers. This one is different. This is the real emergency alarm. Your training kicks in, you float to your station, check the systems, communicate with the team. The protocol is automatic. It could be decompression, it could be fire, it could be collision with debris. False alarm, faulty sensor in module 2. Repeat, false alarm. You float there, strapped in by safety harnesses, heart racing, feeling the adrenaline drain away. For 5 seconds, you had purpose. For 5 seconds, something was happening. Now it's just you, again, in a floating can, with less than 2 hours until you can sleep. I observe you there, stopped in space, literally stopped in space, and I feel a twinge of something that might be pity, but it passes quickly because what comes next is comedic gold. You decide to take a shower. Shower in quotes because it involves a wet towel and embarrassment. You scrub yourself with a damp cloth inside a bag to contain the water droplets while floating naked and questioning every decision that brought you here. Years of university, intense physical tests, brutal training, all to clean yourself with a wet towel like a giant cat in space. 10:30 p.m., final free time. You try to read a book on your tablet but can't concentrate. You put on music, but you've heard all these songs 400 times. You look out the window again. Still beautiful, still boring. You prepare to sleep at 11 p.m., sliding into your cocoon strapped to the wall. Tomorrow will be the same. The day after too. And the next day, the same tube paste, the same false alarms, the same routine documented in 1,000-page manuals. But as you close your eyes, still floating in your sleeping bag, you catch yourself thinking, at least tomorrow, something interesting will happen. I end this day as an astronaut with an ironic reflection. You're literally living in space, one of the most extreme and deadly places in the universe, and you still manage to turn it into a boring office routine. Congratulations on the human consistency in making even the extraordinary monotonous. And tomorrow, it all starts again. Same can, same paste, same alarms. But hey, at least you're in space, right? Right?